It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Good evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 341, Lindsey Huddleston, the SPS Edge. He is the founder of Sports Psychology Solutions, and he is a regular Thursday contributor to The Drive with Jack on the Spotlight Radio Network. Just back from Georgia. Lindsey, that's been a whirlwind weekend, and we're not done yet.
I know, Jack. Hanging out with you, I get a lot of miles on my airfare. That's a good thing, though.
Well, what was your impression of what you saw there for two games last night, Michigan State and Oregon? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. And then you saw Kansas and Kentucky, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 73,000 people should have been there.
Sure.
A lot of empty seats.
A lot of empty seats, unfortunately, but the excitement of always seeing those players looking to play their best and seeing a few other faces in the crowd with people just trying to get a glimpse of what's going on. But it was a really good time to be able to be there, part of that intimate group that was just there for this historic time in the NCAA. So happy for the teams and hope everyone can stay healthy.
Well, we went through something in Indianapolis when we went down there and got there to watch the pregame warm-ups. Tom Crawford was also there, and very happy to have him with us tonight. Bluebelly Tom, my broadcast partner for 18 plus years. He is a creator of the Crawford Podcasting Network, and he is a regular contributor to thewolverine.com. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jack. I think both of you guys are crazy. You're going your team back. Now you're going to go back to Atlanta? I mean, come on, man. Hang out in Buckhead, have some fun. It's crazy, but hey, it's good to be here. I love coming to the studio and obviously talking about basketball that we will be talking about tonight.
It's a different kind of trip. I was planning to do some things with the Atlanta Alumni Club there, and then go to the Masters for the first time. Instead, we have the Press Pass Fantasy Madness. And Tom, we started with 68 teams, and yesterday down to 4, and now we only have 2 left.
Yeah, there's just 2 left, and as we'll talk about tonight, one of them, this is what I thought was going to happen, happened. So we'll see how it plays out on Monday night, but it should be a great game.
We're going to talk about both of these games, and the overnight ratings are in. Record ratings for semifinal games. Who knows what it'll be? I think it'll be even bigger tomorrow night for the championship game. We'll be right back. We're going to look at semifinal number 1, Michigan State and Oregon, coming up next.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan LaFontaine of the LaFontaine Automotive Group. To our local small business owners and community partners, we truly empathize and acknowledge the real struggles you're going through. And as a family, we felt compelled to help, and here's what we're going to do. When you shop locally and responsibly, keep your receipts, and LaFontaine will match up to $1,000 towards your next new or used car purchase. Visit thefamilydeal.com for complete details. We will get through this, and we'll be stronger as a nation than ever before.
The role of the modern-day church is absolutely critical because it fills a void in our community that no other institution can.
Join us for worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. Everyone is welcome.
The experts at ServiceMaster know how to properly decontaminate your businesses and homes. ServiceMaster has completed COVID-19 decontamination projects right here in mid-Michigan. Contact ServiceMaster's trained experts for more information.
At Sparrow, we're busy caring for our community, just as we've done for nearly 125 years. We're grateful to those who have stepped up in so many ways during this challenge. Please visit sparrowfoundation.org to see our wish list of needed items, find the location and hours of our drop-off site, or make a financial gift to help defray the cost of the response effort. If you are able, call 517-253-6144 or email foundation@sparrow.org. Generosity heals.
You and me can always be family.
The final season of Empire continues Tuesday on Fox. Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. It was quite the scene in an empty Mercedes-Benz Stadium last night. East Region champion Michigan State boosted its record to 30-9 with a 77-71 win over Oregon, the best in the West as a number 3 seed in Press Pass Fantasy Madness. Lindsey Huddleston, you were with me at courtside, seated 8 feet away, and you saw these teams trading haymakers back and forth. Rocket Watts, Xavier Tillman, Cassius Winston all had big games. How did Michigan State accelerate at the end, scoring 8 of the last 10 points to win this game?
It was that WTW, Watts, Tillman, and Winston. Those guys coming together. So proud of Rocket, not looking down at his feet as he's walking on water. He's playing like nobody's business. Even though he's a freshman, he has that confidence and he's putting it out there. And he has Xavier Tillman to lean on with his great experience. And of course, Cassius Winston always being a great playmaker down the end. But those guys together really made it happen.
Remember when we talked to Rocket Watts at the beginning of the season? It was an exhibition game. And he wasn't so sure of himself. Never thought that he would be Michigan State's leading scorer in the national semifinal.
Well, you know, he always had the ability, but one thing he always talked about was confidence. And I remember having those conversations with him in the locker room about how he was feeling himself, and he was also battling injury. And once he got past that and kind of got into Tom Izzo's system, he was really able to flourish and live up to that name, Rocket, and just take off.
Tom Crawford, you've been talking about Peyton Pritchard all year after seeing him in Ann Arbor, and he certainly lived up to the billing and more than held his own against Cassius Winston. The Pac-12 Player of the Year certainly looked like it.
Yeah, he did. He was absolutely terrific. But in basketball, 4 really, really good players and performances beats 1 or 2 good performances, which pretty much Oregon got. Yeah, this is the thing about Michigan State, is that they have so many, such a wide variety of contribution, if you will, from the big 4, and we'll throw Aaron Henry on top of the other 3. And then, getting contribution off the bench. It was a deep team. And I said this last week, I'm surprised this game was this close. I thought Michigan State was going to roll Oregon even more. This team had a look in the eye, and I think their chances are pretty good on Monday night.
Guys, there was a point when Oregon had tied it up and then actually went ahead by a basket late in the second half. Kyle Arns drew that charge. And I think that was a pivotal play, Lindsey, when you think about that call. Could have gone either way.
Yeah, that's Kyle's thing. I call him the Iron Man. He always finds himself in those type of situations where he can make a big play down the stretch. And I think that has a lot to do with his veteran leadership, being around and just sacrificing his body to do whatever it takes for the team to win.
Tom, also Gabe Brown came in and he had that key 3. And Michigan State had been struggling. They had 3 or 4 empty possessions in a row. And when he hit that shot, it seemed like it lifted everyone.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful shot, especially when he gets separation, and that was a big time. And I thought Malik Hall came out and did some really nice contribution as well. I knew he would. Michigan State's got a deep team, a solid team, and hey, one shining moment might be coming their way.
Lindsey Huddleston, from a psychological standpoint, what did you see that might have made a difference last night?
I think the key thing is that those guys kind of went back on their shared experiences. We all know the tragedy that Michigan State basketball has dealt with. And with that tragedy, everyone was able to come together on one accord. And when a team come together, Jack, as you know, on one accord, they can really deal with any kind of adversity. So this was a situation where past challenges have come and played out to the benefit of Michigan State Spartans.
Tom Crawford, that's Final Four number 9 for Tom Izzo, and that is 4 more than Mike Krzyzewski has had in the last quarter century. But who else did things maybe you wouldn't think of? Aaron Henry, for one, looked like he did some pretty good things out there.
Yeah, but that's expected, you know. And, you know, particularly the back half of the season, he came into play. Marcus Bingham taking a big charge. I've been kind of down on this kid about being on and off, but he came in, he gave, 6 or 7 quality minutes, and that's what it takes. A veteran player like that, he's had some experience, and that's what it's going to take again on Monday night to beat a good Kansas team.
Well, he's not going to be able to get in foul trouble tomorrow night. That happened for a while. He had to leave the game, but as you say, front court depth, and who knows, this could be the last game we see for Xavier Tillman in green and white. He's got a big decision to make, and depending on how he looks tomorrow, that might influence some NBA general managers, since they're not going to have the same kind of workout opportunities that they've had in the past. So when they do have a draft, at some point they're going to have one. And these are the kinds of memories that Xavier Tillman is making with NBA executives. We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to look at the second semifinal. Kansas Jayhawks, Kentucky Wildcats, basketball Blue Bloods up next.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you a free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football. It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Know the day's weather before you walk out the door.
Fox 47 News.
Hello, I'm Jack Wires, President and Principal Attorney at Family and Elder Law of Mid-Michigan, PC. Our team hopes that all of you are staying safe and healthy in these very challenging times. COVID-19 has affected the way we do business in the lives of many of our clients, emphasizing the need to plan now while you can. Folks who are in senior living facilities, those being treated for and treating the virus, and those who are experiencing other health issues unrelated to the virus are having the doors shut behind them, for very good reasons, leaving their loved ones and trusted friends on the outside unable to speak and advocate for them. The need for explicit and complete healthcare and financial directives has never been greater, and unfortunately the need to plan for unexpected incapacity or death has never been more pronounced. We want you to know that our team is now working remotely and is here to help you. Please visit our website at www.family-elder-law.com or call 517-351-6222 to find out how we can help you now. God bless everyone in this very difficult time.
Yes, here on Fox 47, time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority, bringing thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for hundreds of tournaments and special events. And talking with the GLSA this week, there's zero doubt in my mind that this area will continue to be a leader in that area when normalcy returns. There you see the score of National Semifinal Game 2 in Press Pass fantasy madness. The top-seeded overall Kansas Jayhawks, #1 in the South region, getting past Kentucky, 75-68. A lot of blue in that matchup and a lot of tradition as well. There you see the game leaders. Udoka Azubuike, tremendous offense and on the boards, and teaming up with Devon Dotson, and that was too much for Kentucky. Lindsay, we were still interviewing Michigan State players in that ballroom that they had set up for media access after the game. Didn't get to see the first 10 minutes of this game, but Tom Crawford, you did. How did the Jayhawks come to dominate this?
Well, Azubuike is just a freaking beast. 7 foot, 275. I mean, he obviously was a huge thorn in Kentucky. But Devon Dotson, I mean, besides the assist that he dished out that we just saw in that graph, I mean, he didn't have any turnovers at all. I mean, I don't recall any offhand. And, no fouls. He wasn't in foul trouble. He played a perfect game. He's a sophomore, but he's a really, really good leader. The other thing about Kansas, they have 9 guys that average double-digit all season long. Right. Bill Self has a very deep team, and that pays off when you get to the Final Four.
Yeah, and Tom, how much did it hurt Kentucky that their star, Emmanuel quickly got a couple of fouls and impacted the first half, certainly?
Yeah, he quickly did, and Cal got him quickly out, but he got him quickly back in. I mean, he only took him out for 3 minutes, Jack. I think it paid off. This goes against the grain of what you traditionally do, like Izzo, John Beilein. Oh, you got 2 fouls, you got to sit the rest of the half. Cal put him back in there, and he played well. He got 33 minutes the entire game, so it was a good call. Lindsey
Huddleston, Wildcats were the class of the SEC again this year. That's no surprise. But I think they simply ran into a better team. And can you talk about Azubuike and Dotson and how they might match up with Winston and Tillman?
That kind of concerns me. Absolutely right what Tom said. Bill Self has a very deep team, and those 2 letters, AD, and I'm not talking about Anthony Davis from Kentucky Lower. I'm talking about these 2 guys, and I worry if those individual matchups might do too much, especially when you talk about the strength advantage that Dotson may have when it comes to Cassius. Cassius has gotten faster, but, and compared to some players like Dotson, Cassius can be as slow as Christmas sometimes, and you worry about that when it comes down to the stretch, but you hope Xavier Tillman can really, hold down those boards, really be strong, and have a big showing. But I kind of got to give the edge to Kansas going forward when it comes to that matchup.
Tom Crawford, we were there a year ago in the Champions Classic, and we saw Kentucky pound Duke, but we also saw Kansas beat Michigan State, and Tillman and Nick Ward could not stop Azubuike inside.
No, that's just, this guy's an NBA. He's going to be an absolute standout, but I like that matchup, Michigan State and Kansas. From a Michigan State perspective, I think it's going to work out for Sparty. A little tip there as we talk about that game later on.
Was there ever a point in this semifinal where you said UK is going to get KU, or did you see it being chalk all the way for Rock Chalk Jayhawk?
No, it was Rock Chalk Jayhawk, and it goes back to that depth. Kentucky, Maxi's a great player, and you got him as 20, but they don't have the depth that Kansas had. And I think Bill Self, Jack, is a good coach. I really do. I know people beat on him, but he coaches. He's been doing it 17 years. He's doing a terrific job with his team.
Well, Tom, some people said that it was strange to see Kansas playing and Danny Manning not being in the building, but it was also strange for Kentucky not to have Ashley Judd there.
Yeah, and she's a big part of that program. It's disappointing when you don't see her.
It's Michigan State, Kansas for the championship tomorrow night. We'll be right back to talk about it.
This is your drain. This is your drain unplugged. Any questions? Veteran Sewer and Drain, serving the Lansing area with complete drain cleaning and inspection with 24-hour emergency service available. vetsewer.com.
Cut the cord now with the Antenna Men. Save money year after year with an antenna system and free digital TV. The Antenna Men can enhance at-home communications. A cell booster will improve cell signal quality and increase data speeds. Call the Antenna Men 7 days a week.
Hi, this is Jason Cords with a message from Ralph and all of us at Shaheen Chevrolet and Shaheen Cadillac of Lansing. Our lives look different now. We are all adjusting to a new normal. What isn't new is Shaheen Chevrolet and Shaheen Cadillac of Lansing's commitment to you and our community. We are keeping our service department and body shop open to ensure that your vehicle is able to get you where you need to go, or give you one that will. For 50 years, Shaheen has been honored to serve our community. We're here if you need us. We can't wait to see you again. We will get through this.
Profit over patience is a different kind of battlefield.
The Resident, all new Tuesday on Fox. Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemus.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, go to theticketmachine.com.
Long, a 2 to tie. Michigan will have to bring it.
Oh, he walked and the referee missed it.
Weber brings it into the front court. They have no timeouts remaining.
Oh, he causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
He called a timeout. Michigan doesn't have any.
He got by with a walk, and Jimmy calls a he calls a timeout. He doesn't realize that's Michigan's too many, and so it'll be a technical foul. North Carolina shooting and the ball. A huge mental mistake. Steve Fisher calls his team back.
But he makes 2, this game will be over. 4-point difference. North Carolina with 11 seconds to go. Palinka in. Even if Michigan, should Carolina miss. There you have it. North Carolina is the 1993 national champion.
The reason we showed that was not to drive Tom Crawford certifiably nuts. It was because it was exactly 27 years ago tonight that occurred in the Superdome, and you see what happened with Chris Webber, and I really think there are 4 other guys who have to share in that. I don't blame Chris the way that some people did for that. First of all, I would think with the timeout before that, the coach, in this case Steve Fisher, should have told everybody, hey, we have no timeouts. Make sure everybody understands that, because assistant coaches give you that information. That's one of the last things before you break the huddle. Then when he gets the rebound, he travels. And if the official had just called the travel, Tom Crawford, would have been much better. Would not have gotten the extra free throws, and then there could have been a foul. And if North Carolina had only made 1 of the 2, Michigan State still could have tied it with a 3-pointer. And then you come down the court, and I think it's Michael Talley who is hollering timeout, timeout, timeout. So that's what Chris did. And also I think Jalen Rose, you see him on the side standing there waiting for a pass. I think Scott Skiles would have gone over, if that had been Barry Fordham, and would have broken his arm, ripped the ball out of his hands instead of letting his center dribble the ball up the court, but 27 years ago. Lindsey Huddleston, we get on that midnight train, whoop, whoop, And we will be heading back. It's going to be such a strange feeling. There has never been a championship game in a bigger building with fewer people on hand to watch it.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I remember an experience years ago. I played in a charity game at the now defunct Palace of Auburn Hills. And one thing people don't realize is the depth perception when there's no one in the stands. Because normally when there's someone in the stands and you look through the fiberglass backboard, you can see the people and you can kind of get your shot down. Yeah. But when there's nobody there, you got to narrow right in on that rim. And that can be tough. And I think that's something people are going to take for granted and have to watch out for.
Tom, I know you want to be objective in a case like this, but part of you's got to be pulling for the Spartans because of your wife and your daughter, right?
That's incorrect, Jack. Oh. That doesn't carry any weight with me. I've been lamenting this. I've been fearing this, since November. And Michigan State had that little dip in the middle of the season. I thought, hey, maybe they won't win a national championship. Then they got hot, and now we're at where we're at right now.
Can Winston and Tillman hang with Dotson and Azubuike, or will they not have to do that as 4.5-point underdogs?
Well, first of all, Jack, I don't understand why they're 4.5-point underdogs. I mean, this is a pick'em game. I projected it to be a pick'em game. The crowd, albeit small, 27 people, whatever, whoever's going to be there, they don't like Kansas. They like Michigan State. Listen, I think the big four, and just this season's got karma to it. This is Cassius Winston. This is what tragedy went on early on, and a higher court is making this come true. I just got this feeling everything points to a Michigan State victory.
Normally, we have a cooling off period that we have agreed to, Lindsey. I don't call Tom immediately after Michigan losses. I give him a chance to compose himself. If Michigan State should win this game, how long before I can call you? Monday night give me till Friday. I'll be good on Friday. Lindsey, this will be my 18th championship game. What do you expect to see in your first?
Well, originally I expect to see a whole lot of people, a lot of fanfare, a lot of stars. But what I look like in this game, too, is an intense pickup game where the stakes are high, but because no one's calling next to play because no one's in the stands, guys are going to be locked in. They're going to be very focused because this is a national championship game. So I expect to see intensity and hopefully the home team pulling it out.
Tom, this will be the 9th time in this century that a Big Ten team has played in a championship game. You see, Michigan did it twice. This will be the 3rd time for Michigan State, but conference does not have a title since 2000. Which team will we be saluting next Sunday, and what's the last shot before One Shining Moment ends?
Oh, well, what you're going to see on One Shining Moment is Izzo with his arm around Cassius and Lupi and looking up and tears rolling down his cheeks.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years.
Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Greasy pizza boxes.
Ugh, glass bottles not emptied.
Yogurt containers with... Ew!
Michigan needs to recycle better, and that change starts with you. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
Join football's Watt Brothers.
We are taking the game of tag to an ultimate level.
As the wildest pro taggers. You better run! Chase down amateurs.
It's time to play some tag. Oh my God!
Ultimate Tag premieres Wednesday, May 20th on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for the big picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see, whoa, that was Bankers Life Fieldhouse and a post-game press conference with nobody there for the Big Ten tournament. Eventually, Commissioner Kevin Warren did come to the podium, and there you see the floor, just as it is emptying, and they are clearing things up and pushing people away, would not let us get back out to the floor. Lindsay, we drove down to Indianapolis with Doug Warren, and we got to watch a little pregame warm-up, had a bite to eat, turn around, head right back. Tom Crawford, you were there as well, and you saw Michigan in the warm-ups, but now we're dealing with something much more important than the cancellation of a conference basketball tournament. Do you agree with Kirk Herbstreit that we are not going to have college football or pro football in 2020?
Well, Kirk Herbstreit came out, this is about probably a week ago, or maybe less than a little bit, and said he would be shocked, he used the word shocked, if college football happened in 2020. And I thought that was a little bit overstated, but now the defiance as far as people staying at home. I mean, we have 8 states of the 50 who are not stay at home, and and 14 states are having people be able to go to church. And you're only good as your weakest link in social distancing. So the fact you have no vaccination and no therapeutics, not only is there no way college football is going to be playing, I'm going to make that statement. It's sad and makes my eyes well up. I'm really starting to be concerned, Jack, about the 2021 athletic calendar for the NCAA. I really am, because without a vaccine, this thing is not going to stop. And when you have people wrapped around their civil liberties and doing their own thing, and this is not a team unit, then it's not going to happen. We're going to be stuck in the mud for months on end.
Lindsay Huddleston, what's the psychology here for this nation if Herbie is right and Donald Trump and Roger Goodell are wrong and we do not have football in September?
I think the psychology is a sobering truth. I mean, don't kill the messenger in Herbstreit. He says something that has a lot of reality based in it. You know, as Americans, as a country, as a society in general, we want what we want when we want it. But the reality is that we cannot push what we're going up against. We have to let, quote unquote, nature take its course. To Tom's point, hope for a vaccine. And the reality of us seeing some football this year is probably very unlikely.
Tom, West Virginia Athletic Director Shane Lyons gave a very sobering appraisal of what this would mean, not just in the Big 12, but to other schools. You think about the Big 10 stadiums, how much the schools depend on that revenue, plus all of this television money. What happens if they don't have football? What happens if they still have coaches with megabucks contracts and a lot of athletes on scholarship and no money to pay them?
Well, it's one big hot mess. I mean, Michigan football generates roughly, they're third highest in college football, about $122 million a year. I mean, those applications are supposed to go out next month. You know, you think people are gonna put their deposits not knowing if there's gonna be a football season? If there's not a football season, I mean, Michigan has 26 others, or 26 quote unquote Olympic sports that need revenue from football. Basketball and hockey make their own money, but I mean, I'm just saying this is going to be catastrophic. It's not overstating that, but the quicker everybody behaves and comes together in social distancing, then we got a shot. But if we don't and go our own separate ways, when you get apexes going on in certain states in July and August, you got no shot.
Let's take a look at the Michigan and Michigan State football schedules for 2020. And there you see Michigan State opening up against Northwestern Labor Day weekend, Friday night. And then they're at BYU, Toledo, Miami, Florida coming in, and then on to a very rigorous Big Ten schedule. And for Michigan, they were supposed to have a road game against Washington. Tom, I don't know if that's going to occur, but I'm hearing some people say now that don't be surprised if they err on the side of caution and they wait and play, in essence, a USFL-style spring schedule beginning in late March, even April 1st, be done in June, take 6 weeks off. It's just like spring football with scoreboards.
Yeah, and then you'd carve those 3 non-conference games out, just make it Big Ten play. I know I'll go on record saying Michigan's not going to Seattle on Labor Day weekend. You talk about shock, that's not going to happen. So that's not a bad idea. But still, you got to get a vaccination. And that takes time. That's 12 to 18 months. This is a long shot, to be honest with you.
We'll be right back with our Going Green segment. Take a look at how they're coping in East Lansing. Up next.
It's hard to admit that taking care of my mother is just becoming more than I can handle on my own. All my life, she's taken care of me. Now it's my turn to take care of her. I have to find my mom the best care. By Dawn's Early Light Home Care is setting new standards in providing home care that's compassionate, knowledgeable, and affordable. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us and set up a free care consultation today.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-925-1254. That's 800-925-1254.
The only station with a weather guarantee.
Fox 47 News.
Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you a free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet on West Grand River in Okemos. With 106 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, when the time is right, go Graf.
Hey, this is Coach Gilmore from Michigan State. I got called out on social media about my previous work situation. I just want everybody to know in my efforts to practice my social distancing, I decided to upgrade my working space. As you can see, I got my my bigger screen here as far as to do my work. I got my laptop here as far as to pull up my Excels. I got my iPad here for when I do my Zoom as far as my staff meetings. But I just want you guys to know that, hey, I'm stepping up my game. Go green.
Ted Gilmore, one of the assistants, came in with Mel Tucker, and he had a tremendous reputation with Paul Christ at Wisconsin. Lindsey Huddleston, Ted Gilmore coached a Biletnikoff Award winner at Wyoming, of all places, went to Purdue, and took a guy with pretty average ability and made him the Big Ten's career receptions leader, coached multiple pros at Colorado and USC, and then last year at Wisconsin took Quinton Cephas when he came back to the team, and I can tell you Ohio State could not cover him in the Big Ten championship game. What does it say about Gilmore's adaptability that he can switch positions? Now, he's not going to be coaching wideouts. Courtney Hawkins is going to be doing that. He'll be coaching the tight ends at Michigan State, plus what he's doing with all this new technology.
No, I think someone with his seasoned ability is definitely able to use his transferable skills and not just focus on the R word for receivers, but he's also an outstanding recruiter. And that's going to be very important for Coach Mel Tucker. But when you talk about technology, you and I know Coach Mel Tucker has totally embraced technology, using Zoom to even work on some virtual meet and greets that we were working on with the Horatio Williams Foundation down in Detroit. Unfortunately, the NCAA kind of nixed that a little bit based on moratorium they put on activities, but they're definitely embracing technology, and I think someone like Coach Gilmore is going to take full advantage of that and bring his great expertise to Michigan State football.
Tom Crawford, your son Cody is a college football coach, an up-and-comer. How is he adjusting to the lack of face-to-face contact in terms of player development and bringing in prospects?
Well, it's been frustrating. He was about ready to hop on a plane to go to the Broward County, South Florida for a third visit when this all came down. But, you know, with Zoom, like Lindsey mentioned, and some of the other technologies like Skype, you're connecting with your potential recruits. Allegheny College, where he coaches, is D3. They're still gathering 2020 recruits. I mean, so they're right in the middle of it. They land all their kids late. After everybody out the big schools, they have their, you know, this kind of leftovers, if you will. But he's doing a great job. He's got a great attitude, and just stay connected. And they have coaches meetings on Zoom, and everything's in technology. You can't go on campus. It's just a different world, and he's got a high motor, so this has been a big adjustment for him.
Lindsey, I want us to take a look at Michigan State senior defensive end Jacob Panasiuk. And he's got a little different way to stay in shape and gain strength. Can we get you in front of the green screen with a pole and 8 tires and demonstrate a few dips?
You can get me in front of the green screen, but no demonstration going on when it comes to that. I think Jacob's practicing a little bit of psychological warfare right there, too, kind of scaring the competitors off. So when he gets in front of those guys, that's the guy that was lifting those tires. But, hey, he's trying to do his thing, and he's showing his prowess for Michigan State football.
Tom Crawford, you're a weight training guy. What do you think of that approach?
You got to be creative. I mean, you can't get in the weight rooms. I mean, they're down in South Florida talking about those recruits down there. They're doing sprints in the streets right now. I mean, it's crazy. You just got to come up with something, do cone drills and whatever, and buy time and see how this thing plays out.
We knew that Jerry Rice developed the best hands in football by catching those bricks when they were thrown down from the top of the building, and you had to give with the brick the way you would sometimes in catching a pass. Can you tell about athletes the way they adapt and the way that they pursue training when no coaches are there to critique them?
Well, those are the best kind of athletes you want to have, you know. And there's a lot of discipline. I mean, out on Lake Michigan, there's guys that are running up the sand bluffs right now, trying to do something different, you know, get an edge. And the whole mentality of high-end college football players, I better be working out, because if I'm not working out, someone else is who could take that scholarship or could beat me out for that starting position. So I think there's a lot of self-discipline in college football. They wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't.
Tom, who is the unquestioned player leader, the likely captain for Michigan this season? The one guy that everyone else would look up to.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm saying for Michigan State, it's probably Antoine Simmons. Would you say, Lindsey?
Absolutely.
So I'm sure there's a counterpart to that at Michigan.
You know, I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson as a junior.
That's a good example.
Because he's just the way he's leading out there in the field. two-year captain.
Those are the kinds of guys, and Izzo always says, hey, a player-coach team is better than a coach-coach team.
Absolutely.
The players stay together. They stay with each other all the way through. That's going to make a tremendous difference. When we get back, we're going to take a look at the NFL draft coming up, our Law of the Jungle segment. We're going to check in with Kenny Willekes, getting ready, up next.
At the David Chapman Agency, it's our knowledge and expertise that make insuring home, auto, and farm easy for you. Experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
They're trying to keep their doors open to serve you.
The Smokin' Pig is still serving their award-winning barbecue. Stop in for takeout, order by phone, delivery, DoorDash, or Grubhub. The Smokin' Pig across from the Lansing Mall in the Elmwood Plaza.
For more restaurants offering takeout or delivery, go to fox47news.com/open. We're open. Mid-Michigan is supported by Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures.
This is your drain. This is your drain unplugged. Any questions? Veteran Sewer and Drain, serving the Lansing area with complete drain cleaning and inspection with 24-hour emergency service available. vetsewer.com.
The Simpsons have a new home, April 6 on My-47.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals, always someone to look up to.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. That's why I'm there every week and will be for the area's best takeout until my favorite stop is open for dining again. That is not the USA Gymnastics super heavyweight division. That is Kenny Willekes, who performed very well for Michigan State, coming back from the broken leg, and now has his sights on the National Football League, but some very rare athleticism, flexibility, quickness he shows there. Not a lot of guys 265 pounds can do those kinds of things. Lindsey Huddleston, looking at that workout, it reminds you of what you do at home?
No, it doesn't remind me of what I do at home. Reminds me of someone auditioning for American Ninja. But in all fairness, it does show his flexibility. He's making a statement. But I think what it really comes down to for that draft opportunity is something that your old friend Nick Saban said. It's about when those GM call the coaches to say, tell me about this guy, because that was only one format, one portion of what he can show. The other part is going to be what kind of conversations being had, what he can say about him. I always thought he was a high character kid from the times I talked to him, so I think that may work in his favor, but that's just something to add to it.
Well, one thing about the draft, whether it's football or basketball, it only takes one team to love you. And everybody doesn't have to think you're great. Just one team does. And maybe there's a GM out there that sees that and says, wow, you know what? That guy's a second-round pick. Or maybe, you know, he can sneak up a little higher than people thought. Tom, I know you share my opinion of Joe Bocci and his athleticism. You got a good look at that in 2017. What about his skill set and what he might mean in the National Football League?
Oh, I think he's going to be terrific. I mean, kind of an old-style linebacker. I mean, his work ethic is extremely high. He's a very mature kid. He's a team guy. I remember speaking with him at the Big Ten Media Days, and all he did was talk about his teammates. He didn't even want to talk about himself. That's a good character kid. And that's the kind of guy I would want leading my team, especially at linebacker.
Which U of M player, Tom, would be the best fit in Allen Park if the Lions were to add one Wolverine? I wouldn't wish that on any of them, but if that were the case, who could help Detroit the most?
Maybe, well, you know, as far as two guys stick out, Ben Bredesen is a 6'7", 315-pound guard that Mel Kiper has him just as he's really high on this guy. Mel Kiper knows his stuff. Yeah. At least a backup. And a guy you're going to probably think I'm crazy, but Khaleke Hudson has a ton of potential. I realize that, he kind of peaked his sophomore year, but I've seen these glimpses of this guy's really got a high motor. He doesn't back down to anybody bigger than him. That's what I like about Khaleke Hudson.
I think chances are really good, guys, that Taylor Decker is going to have another Buckeye to sing the battle cry with in the Lions locker room. If it isn't Jeffrey Okudah, let's say Miami trades up to get that pick from Washington, and maybe Chase Young slides down. There could be some other players from the Big Ten. I'd love to see Jonathan Taylor in a Lions uniform in round 2. We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth Weekly Awards up next.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you a free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
Download the Fox 47 News app, available for iOS and Android.
Launch is Lansing's premier destination for birthday parties, fundraisers, corporate events, bachelor and bachelorette parties, college groups, field trips, youth groups, overnight events, sports teams, and so much more. Launch provides endless fun with wall-to-wall trampolines, Fury laser tag, battle pit, an arcade, and more. When you want your party to be the best, invite your guests and let Launch Lansing do the rest. Located in the Meridian Mall, call 517-381-7812 or go to launchtrampolinepark.com/Lansing to book your party today.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. There you see the 2020 class for the Basketball Hall of Fame. A couple of real headliners up at the top. Hard to imagine a better threesome going in 1 year than Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Eddie Sutton, kind of a checkered past. You see some coaches on the women's side. Tamika Catching's a great player, and Kim Mulkey, she's now the coach at Baylor. Tom Crawford, what about Rudy Tomjanovich? Finally getting recognized.
Finally, Rudy T, man. He's my man. It's taken a while, but from Hamtramck, he was one of my idols when I was a kid. Turnaround jumper was dynamite.
Just so they don't have Kermit Washington there to take a swing at them when they
Don't bring that up.
Okay. All right, Team 341, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Tom Crawford, what about a very difficult play of the week?
Well, the play of the week, God, I really hate to give accolades to Ohio State Buckeyes, but I have to, and Chris Spielman. He sold he auctioned off his 1984 Big Ten Championship ring as a fundraiser for COVID-19 victims, and a guy bought it for $12,000, and so that's all going to go into a fund to help those folks out. I thought that was so cool. There is a deal, though, is when the guy who buys it and when Chris both die, when they're both dead, then the ring goes back to Chris's family. So, but I think it's just a great gesture.
That is very cool, and I think it's very Spielman, if you know a little bit about him, too. Lindsey Huddleston, what about our game of the week?
Game of the week, recognizing the Hall of Famers, Kobe Bryant, all he's done for women's sports, women's basketball. In 2016, on this day, the UConn Huskies won their 4th consecutive national championship. And I think that's definitely worthy of being the game of the week. They beat Syracuse, and girl power all the way.
Connecticut, people don't realize that Connecticut has those 4 national titles since 1999, Tom, and a lot of people would not expect that when you talk about teams. You kind of forget about UConn winning it 4 times. Tom, what do you have for us with the team of the week?
Well, the team of the week, I sent a video clip in here that we're going to incorporate right now with the first responders. And this happened all over the country. You see paramedics, fire engine, EMTs, they were tipping their hat to the hospital workers who are on the front lines. So that's heroes tipping their hat to heroes. And I saw this a bunch of different times, and it just, made me eyes water up a little bit. Something about that, people coming together like that was certainly special. So that group of first responders are my team of the week. They're in danger every day. This is scary stuff, but they're awesome.
It's a lot more enjoyable to watch that caravan than it is to see that procession of refrigerator trucks with the bodies in the bags as it's leaving the hospital. Tough time. Tom, you've gotten great response to your teams of the week the last couple weeks, and I'm sure that's going to continue with what you just gave us. Okay. Our player of the week, and I don't know if she's ever played athletics, and I really don't care. Governor Kate Brown from Oregon responded to Andrew Cuomo's pleas and sending ventilators. You're talking about a lot of ventilators, considering giving those to New York to use, and then the idea it's going to be reciprocated. Life is a team sport, people. We all have to pull together. This is not state versus state. This isn't agency versus agency. This isn't even country versus country. Save that for the Olympics. This is about humanity. Think of Game of Thrones, all right? They're going to battle against the North. I want to thank Lindsey Huddleston. We are on our way back to Georgia, and we'll be back next week to tell you about that championship game tomorrow night. Tom Crawford, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back with more next week, coming up on Press Pass.